play at second. I'm a little surprised that was where she went with it.
I agree. I thought it was really close, and you could tell Paisley Allen also felt like it was close as she turned around and fired that ball to first to try to get that runner still at first.
So the officials will head underneath and take a look. Cameron Ellison is at first base, and Jimmy Cranford is over at third today. And there's Chris Hawkins. We'll talk about him in a moment. You know, sometimes you fake it till you make it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, to your point, Paisley Allen came up throwing first.
She felt like it probably
was. Yeah. She didn't sell that one that was a good out at second base. And it was a close play.
It was really close.
So we'll see how this one gets looked at. There's this Hawkeye enhanced replay system.
From that view, it looks like she's there before the ball reaches Paisley Allen's glove. Which that was a very cleanly fielded ball.
It was.
It was just on the slower side in terms of how hard it was hit. And so Thomas, sliding with her speed, able to potentially get there in time.
And there's this enhanced Hawkeye replay system giving you that even more enhanced look there.
We don't have the audio, but the call on the field was changed.
You saw Cameron Ellison stretch those arms out, so safe at second base, so you're going to have two runners aboard now. So put Shaw aboard on a fielder's choice and advance Thomas to second as Chris Hawkins giving a little word there to Lana Deal. There's Hawkins' bio, 31st season with this USC Upstate program. Letterman there at the school on the baseball team. Really an Upstate lifer at this point, and he has built this program. This is a frequent midweek contest between these two programs. Impressed year after year, they play really good ball.
They do. They're very gritty, and they always have a talented team, and it's really impressive to see just kind of how he's brought the team up, and like his journey also being just so unique, with him also having played baseball at the school.
There's Alana Deal, senior from Whiteville, North Carolina, with the opportunity to drive a run or two in right here, with runners at first and second with two away here in the top of the first. Thomas at second, Shaw at first, the 1-1, and therefore a strike, 1-2.
That was that beautifully placed changeup that I was mentioning earlier, right there painting that outside corner here. And so I would still kind of call them young, even though they've had a very challenging season, seen a lot of good arms, as you've mentioned, definitely had really good learning experiences throughout the season that they'll be able to take with them as they age.
Yeah. Tyler Ellison, the batter here in the 2 spot. Count even 1-1 on her. 338 hitter here on the season. And it certainly has been, you mentioned, challenging at times for this Georgia lineup. 1-1 in there for a strike, 1-2. You mentioned earlier, Georgia comes in here dropping 5 straight. Going back 2 weekends ago, dropping the final 2 contests in the Alabama series over in Tuscaloosa, then dropping a midweek game last week against Mercer, before dropping 2 over this past weekend to Texas A&M here in Athens. The final game of that 3-game series canceled due to weather. So this is a Georgia team that we mentioned, one of the final midweek tune-ups of the season, would really like the opportunity to get some things right as the 2-2 comes inside. Count full for the second straight batter now.
And as we mentioned earlier, there's obviously learning experiences in all of those losses, but you have
2 away for Lindy Ray Davis.
You almost had a little bit of a collision out there. Likely not communicating as loudly as they maybe need to. It's different. It's interesting as you go into different stadiums, you do have to adjust the volume of your communication to your other teammates.
That's something interesting. You don't think about that, but you don't know how the acoustics work, what the sound system's like, where those fans are in proximity. What may be loud enough at home, you go on the road and may need to yell a little bit. Davis taking her time. It's a righty on lefty matchup here for Drerup. It's in there for a strike, 2-2. Drerup, a native of the Upstate, out of Fort Mill, South Carolina. Just outside, and the count full for the third straight batter.
She really wanted that.
Was Abigail Pippin. 6, 7, and 8 here in the second for the Spartans. Abby Polk will stand in here. Polk with probably a lot of family in attendance here this afternoon, native of Winder, just up the road from Athens. One of 3 Georgians on the roster here for the Spartans. Polk, a .321 hitter on the season. Taken on the 3-0 there, count 3-1. 20 pitches for Randy Rolling back in the first inning. A little bit of a quiet call there from Donald Maddox.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of confusion around that. Freddie knew that it was foul, but no one else around them did.
Georgia played it out.
Which one in doubt, play it out. And good job by Randy Rolling right there to come back with a strike, attacking that zone to get that out. Beautiful pitch down in the zone, just dropping off the table on the outside corner to get that swing and miss by Freddie.
So Upstate one time through the lineup. This will be the second trip through. Julia Thomas for the second time here this afternoon. She led the game off with a single.
We talked about before how she is able to start a lot of rallies for this offense, and she now has the opportunity to do that again. Even though there's one out, there's nobody on, she could be the first one on base to start this offensive rally.
Bounces in the dirt, count 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-1 the count. Denver Lauer waits on deck here behind her. Lefty on righty matchup there as Thomas swings and misses. Off the pitcher, Polk at shortstop had to dig that one up, and a great job of digging it out at first base by Shaw.
So to get that out at first, 3 big contributions right there to one play.
You get 6-3 put outs all the time. You go 1-6-3 for one out. That's a little bit unique.
Yeah. And I know that didn't feel good, so she'll get a pitch there just to make sure she's feeling good.
So a 1-6-4 put out of Lindy Ray Davis. And here's Jaden Goodwin. Popped up to short on the very first pitch she saw there in the second. Count 3-1 here to Goodwin. Goodwin taking on the 3-1, and the count has been run full, now 3-2. Pretty good attendance here this afternoon. Interesting 2 away.
Yeah, Allen had to back up to get that hop on the bounce correctly. And so it made it a little bit more challenging, a little bit more of a close play than you would typically see with the ball at second base. There's that changeup again, really deceptive coming out of the hand. So even though it does go in the dirt, Lily Backus still gets a swing and miss.
Two and one here to Johnson. Pop to the shortstop in the second to end the inning. Squared to bunt and came up empty, 2-2. piece to stay alive, 3-2. Full count with 2 away. Opposite field, fouled away.
Hey, ready for fire. Here we go.
With how deceptive Lily Backus's changeup is and how many times we've seen it in this count, I wouldn't be surprised if she went for a 3-2 changeup right here.
Tried to make a diving catch there was Mua Williams and just couldn't get there in time. Be her 4th of the season.
That is not a pitch that Goodnight would typically swing at. It was very clear that it was intentional. Her swinging at a ball that was that far outside of the zone to make sure that Paisley Allen was able to get to second base on that.
And USC Upstate's going to challenge. I think they're saying she may have left early. Microphone not working there for Cameron Ellison. They'll go underneath to take a second look. She might have.
Yeah, she might have. So for those listening or watching at home, Paisley Allen, the runner cannot leave the bag, leave contact with the bag until the pitcher has released the ball.
You watch that foot come off the bag.
That ball might still be on the fingertips.
Yeah.
It's obviously something that runners practice, trying to get that timed up as best you can, but you know, it's a 2-0 game. Georgia's trying to be aggressive right here and get a runner into scoring position and get Dallas Goodnight to put something in play.
To make that more difficult for runners, though, like every pitcher has their own timing to the pitch. Some pitchers have a little bit of a hitch in their windup or in their release that might make that timing for a runner a little bit off.
Yep.
And make it more challenging for those runners to get on time to make sure that they are getting a good jump on the ball.
Well, that's what I was sitting here thinking too, and wanted to ask you about as we get another look. At that replay, zoomed in from high atop. And our camera crew doing a great job of giving you the sights here this afternoon, and our folks back in the control room getting the job done, cutting up these replays. And they still continue to look at it here. But that's something I wanted to ask you. As much as you can practice that time up in practice, you're doing it against your own pitchers. So I'm sure Georgia's base runners have got them timed up really well.
Yeah.
But everybody's a little different. So we couldn't hear what the actual outcome was, but it looks like they're going to say she's staying at second base.
So that means that that evidence was not strong enough from their perspective to overturn that call.
So after the review, it's a 1-2 count here to Dallas Goodnight. Bounces in the dirt, counts even now 2-2. Fouled off the plate once again.
Good job by Goodnight here to stay alive, get a piece of that ball, foul it off so that you have another pitch to work with.
Floats in there low, count full 3-2. It's been a long at bat here for Dallas Goodnight. But
smart choice right there by Backus, knowing that Thomas has such speed and that bounce was a little bit higher, so it was going to take a little bit longer to get to her. She chose to get that out at first, that sure out. So now going into this next batter, there are 2 outs.
And I think we have a challenge here. And something's getting looked at. So there's 2 outs and a runner at second base. That was pretty routine play there. I'm not sure what the review may be. If they're reviewing, was that a foul ball off the plate, or did the runner leave early?
Oh, I didn't even see which coach called the review.
I did not either. I think USC Upstate has challenged twice here today, so
yeah, so it has to be.
It'd be Georgia
Tony
wanting
Baldwin,
to look
maybe.
at this one. Meanwhile, the Georgia infield coming together, and you see some laughs there. Let's take a look.
Get it. Get it. Jordy. Not all the way. Right there.
Guess maybe we're looking to see if she left early there at first base.
Get the out at first, meaning they don't overturn her leaving early. You got to keep the double play in order.
Here is this Hawkeye enhanced review system being utilized across the SEC this season in a variety of sports. Officials taking their time looking at this one here. 2-0 game, so certainly every play is going to matter here the longer this thing goes. And a big challenge here, if this is Georgia that has made the challenge, a big one, as that runner is in scoring position. You're one knock away from that runner coming home or tying this game up. Since the microphone not working, they're trying to relay that information to the coaches as to what actually has happened.
I believe he said the ruling on the field is upheld. However, I'm still unsure about what was actually being challenged.
Right. It almost looked like he signaled out as well.
Exactly.
So it was a little confusing there. So Sophia Kardatsky will stand in as the batter and fouls that one off.
Line drop hope. Line drop hope. Here we go.
This is a huge opportunity for the freshman Kardatsky to move this runner around the bases.
Big cut there, 0-2. As we were here in the 6th inning, Upstate starting to run out of opportunities.
Great job by Ellison to just knock this ball right through that gap between short and third to get on base, to do a job for her team. And now it's up to Lindy Ray Davis up to bat to move Ellison at least one base.
Pitcher getting a word there. In the circle. Kardatsky has done a really nice job coming in relief.
She has, especially as a freshman, coming in a big situation for the Spartans.
Ellison at first base with one out as Davis stands in. She is also 0 for 3 on the day. You've heard that already a couple times here. As Goodnight was 0 for 3, 0 for 4 now after her at bat. Ellison was 0 for 3 before the single. It's been the bottom end of the lineup that's had more success here this afternoon for Georgia as Davis watches that one float in there for a strike, 1-1.
We're seeing Kardatsky throw that changeup more and more as she's getting into a groove, able to locate it, because it's so slow that these Georgia batters do not want to take the risk of trying to get on time with that pitch.
Davis, one of the more experienced players on this Georgia roster. A patient eye.
She definitely has turned to be a patient